Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin, big up the CoinsKid crew. So right now, Bitcoin, it's doing okay. It's bouncing off that low from June the 18th. We do need to see structure going forward, being held and breaking key resistance on the monthly time frame, especially if we do start to see this. Okay, and I will remind you, we've got 11 days. We'll keep looking at this chart because if Bitcoin right now can close above the 55 and this white trend line, if it starts to close outside of this, I would be more biased to say, okay, well, the correction's in, and you're looking to come upstairs and you're looking to break out this trend line. And I think you start attacking these highs and, you're looking at an impulsive wave 5 up there, leading into 2023. And, this was a corrective phase of a bull market, not a bear market, basically. Now, full transparency, if Bitcoin rejects at this and starts to come down again and does something like this, you can see I could start to fizzle down here, losing these EMAs. And this is more than a bear market, in my opinion. This is some kind of multi-year bear market at this point, and that's what it'll be, and you potentially got some kind of double top here. You roll into resistance, and you're constantly coming down like this. And you can see this trend line here. If you fail to get back above it and take it out and hold support, you won't be looking to come upstairs impulsively like you did here. Okay, so in my opinion, I've always said this to you. I think that what you've got is a measured move here off this top. Okay, you've got some kind of double top here within itself. You've got a measured move, which is a descending triangle. We've already looked at this down to that support just there, and then when you broke down, boom, target met. Okay, and some. So we expected capitulation that particular week, given the chart setup right there. That's came, and right now we're reacting quite positively off that. But what we want to do going forward is break resistances. Okay, so it's all about resistance support. I've taught you that. Now if you start to come up on the monthly and you start to break that, okay, just like here when you was losing this monthly 20, like I said to you, closing below it, you're going to head on down to the 55. This is how it works. If you can close above the 55 right now this month and get up there towards the end of the month, we've got 11 days left. If we can get our ass up there and especially close outside of this resistance here, this white trend line, it's looking pretty tasty, and there's no guesswork that you're potentially going to start to come up and attack that high. You start to take out that high, and you've got your fifth impulsive wave there, which is you blow off top of this bull run, isn't it? And then you could say, okay, well, you've got impulsive wave 1, corrective wave 2, impulsive wave 3, corrective wave 4, which is an irregular correction, and right now you've got this final sort of fifth wave here, and there is a bit of confluence, not just in Bitcoin, it's in altcoins as well that I'm looking at, especially XRP, because XRP at this point, okay, a lot of people say that this was the top. I've told you I don't think that's the top. I told you on the way down here, I don't think that's the top. I think that this last year, April 2021, was the top. Okay, we've came down, we made an A leg, we made a B leg, which was a regular correction. We come back down looking for support and we've lost it. So we're putting some kind of A, B, C, irregular correction right there for Bitcoin. Okay, now if we start to come back up here, when others are really fearful and doubtful, and start holding back to support, you're out of there, aren't you? Like you did here in this dump when people were really fearful. So, XRP at this point put in a big A, B, C zigzag correction, which it previously did in a previous cycle as well, which is why I stand by the stance that I think that you're in a lengthening cycle here, okay, and I've gone through all this with you, it's in many videos. I do think that crypto's in some kind of, especially Bitcoin is in some kind of lengthening cycle, and within this cycle, because of how long it is, we're actually at two major corrections of 70% plus, and I've gone through this with you, people saying you don't have 70% plus corrections in bull markets. Well, you do, in the 2013 cycle there, we had an 80% correction before continuation, before we got to that blow off top. So, I wouldn't necessarily say that this is a blow off top. I would say that this is some kind of cycle correction, looking for continuation once it's over, and with corrections as well, you do usually see an immediate uptick after the correction because it's a continuation of a trend. Like I said to you, the more you zoom in, you see them. I've seen plenty of these on 5 minutes, 15 minutes, plenty of these irregular corrections. And once they sort of find a bottom, they make a move quite impulsively. Okay, so this is what we're looking for the confirmation of this, that this starts to break these key resistances, starts to come up, and everyone's in disbelief. And it doesn't necessarily slow down. It does something like this, keeps going, and everyone's like, oh my God, and you've missed a bottom basically. And that's all I do on the channel, is try and find the moves for you. So for example, let's say we're at this point here right now, this correction, okay, we've got this ABC correction, we're pulling this low, here's your support, we're starting to come back up. Okay, obviously this can all be invalidated, and this particular count will be invalidated if Bitcoin comes down and loses the wave one high, because that's the rules of LA wave theory. This projection using Elliott wave theory that we're in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be invalidated if you ever see Bitcoin coming down below this wave 1 high. And the wave 1 high, the bear market projection is 10k, which is the bear market projection of a bear market. An 85% drawdown is what you usually see, and that would invalidate this particular wave count and this bullish setup that I'm looking at, and I've been looking at for a very long time here for Bitcoin on the channel, you know, and people laughing at me and things like that. But at the moment, there is a chance, there is an absolute chance, because you've held a higher low than this June 2019 low, which is your wave 1 high. You've came back to it, you retraced relatively deeply, you know, and you're holding it at the moment, and you're starting to come back up. Now, the precursor can be, if you start to break these resistances just there, you're up there, aren't you? So, you know, for me, it's looking okay, but I don't want to get too excited. It's something I've been looking at for a very long time. But right now, if Bitcoin can start to come up, and we're pretty much like we were there, you can say, okay, well, that was April 2020. And then by April 2021, literally a year later, after breaking out, we was up there. So you could say, okay, well, if Bitcoin does something like that, and we're at this point right now, and we start to break up and start to come up, and you know, you could be up there 150k by, you know, this time next year, basically, for Bitcoin. So anything's possible. You know, so if I go from here to here, which is my Fibonacci target, and that's your high just there, you could say we're on the 1618 by this time next year, which would be absolutely inconceivable and, you know, unimaginable at this point. But it was equally unimaginable for us to get to the 1618 at that point, and that's exactly what we did. Let me show you. So from here all the way up off that high, where did Bitcoin get to? You know, you got all the way up here onto the 1618. You got to the 2.272 almost. Look at that. We actually did. Look at that. You almost got to 2.272. You did. That's where you wicked. 69444. So, you know, at the time, if I'm making videos for you down here, I would have been telling you exactly what I'm telling you right now. That, you know, you break this trend line here, you're going to start to come up because you're breaking out of resistance. You've got your ABC correction in there, just like you've got an ABC correction in there. You break this trend line, you're going to start to come up quite ferociously, and you're on the 1618 when other people down here was expecting some kind of world lockdown and oblivion and everything's going to doom and zero and things like that. And this is where you always see these moves come from. But anyway, zero guarantees. It's just technical analysis, okay, and it's data. So at the moment, what we do need to see going forward is the break of this key resistances. And if Bitcoin goes through a very similar move like it did here, you know, your minimal target for me is the 1272 at 92k. You've got the 1414 at 111k. You've got the 1616 at 145k. And then if you start to come up and get overextended, and you get anywhere between the 2 and the 2.72, you can see how my long-term target that I've had on the thumbnail for a very long time, you know, over 200k per Bitcoin, could actually come to fruition late next year with some kind of big blow off top for Bitcoin. It's just theory based. There's absolutely zero guarantees, obviously, you know, but what we do need to see now for Bitcoin is hold the lows, start to come back up, break key levels of resistance, not lose these lows that they put in June. And you could say, okay, well, we just rinse, repeat, ABC, break resistance coming up, ABC, break resistance coming up. So this is something we need to see in 11 days, break this trend line, close above the 55. Fantastic. If we don't, you could say, okay, well, this is a bear market. We're going to start to come down. We're going to lose this wave 1 high, and we're going to 10k at a bare minimal, because you are in a bear market, basically, and you're not looking like you're trying to come up the stairs impulsively. Do you understand? So I hope you understand that update, and thank you for everyone sticking with me, and, you know, basically take everyone back to another update on Bitcoin. Stay up, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye-bye.